Yesterday my mom found out I was a junkie, but she don't care cause I'm over here getting all this money. So I don't care if she don't care, just keep them perkies coming. You wonder where I got it on me, run a 40 drumming.
What's up, Baddies? So a lot of you guys have had questions about the truck's interior, so that is exactly what I'm going to be going through today. This is it right here, looking real nice. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Sony over here and get you guys some good footage of exactly what I got done to this thing. So when you first open the door, you're going to notice these status racing seats. Now these racing seats here, they are FIA approved and they come in two different versions. So this is the Circuit right here. They have a GTX model, which is a little bit smaller, but I did drive all the way down to Temecula and actually sit in these because I wanted to make sure I had the right model, right? The GTX is smaller. Since I am 6'1", these are a lot more comfortable for me. I'll go ahead and sit in it and show you guys what that looks like. So this is me actually in the seat. What I really liked about these is that the bolstering on the side is pretty low, giving me about 10 to 11 inches to get in and out of the seat. I don't have to take off the steering wheel every time, which was a big plus for me. So like I said, I'm 6'1". For a 6'1" person to find a bucket seat that actually works, this thing would have to be massive. And as you guys can tell, the interior of this truck isn't the biggest. So up next is the Nardi steering wheel. This is the Nardi 350mm twin line steering wheel. And I guess it gets that name because the outside is smooth leather and the inside is perforated. It has this nice bolstering right around 10 and 2. And I paired it with some titanium Chasing J's bolts to give it a little pop of color. Now the short hub and quick release combo. This is NRG. I've had it for about 10-11 years now. Never had a single issue with it, but I'll link it down below. This is the NRG quick release in carbon fiber, and this is just their short hub for this chassis. So I'll link both the short and the quick release, and also the steering wheel, and basically anything I talk about in this video will be linked down below. Now I will kind of start from left to right. So basically this armrest is off of a 90s 4Runner, and these are from the back seat of it, right? Because if it was the front ones, it would have all 4 switches. So these are the rear seats on a 4Runner, and I have a whole video on how to wire this exactly. I put the relays underneath here behind there, so they're nicely tucked. Very clean way to do it. And I just spray painted them the rest of the color that I did on the dash. It's called Dark Steel Rust-Oleum Paint and Primer. And yeah, I have control now. It used to be here, the manual windows. I just put a little plug on it. So up next here on the left-hand side is my control for the passenger side window. So I don't have to lean over. I could easily get it, but why not? It was free. This is just my control for the lights. And this is my push to start. It's like an S2000. I put the key in, turn it past accessories onto the on position, and then put the clutch in and push to start it. Now in the middle right here, this is the 4Runner gauge cluster. A lot of people ask me about this. There's a really good forum on how to adjust the ohms from V6 to a 4-cylinder. I'll link it down below as well. I really liked this cluster, one because it bolts on, and two because I could actually see my RPMs and battery voltage. So that's a major plus. There are 4 things on the sides, which is your thermostat, your oil pressure, your voltage, your battery voltage, and then your gas gauge, right? The only one that doesn't work is this because I just never got around to doing it. I figured I'm going to swap the engine in the future anyway, so why even invest in that? But thermostat works, battery voltage, and your gas gauge. And my favorite part is RPMs. So once you get that thing dialed in, I think when you first start it and it's made for the V6, it idles like at 1500, 2000. But you just have to lower something back there and then bring it down to about 750 where the 22RE likes to idle. And then yeah, you have a working gauge cluster. Now here, right in the middle, I kind of like how it kind of looks like a Supra. You know, it's got that curve and it's slightly tilted this way away from the passenger. But yeah, right in the middle, we got our little vents here. We got our hazards, and then down below, I should paint this gray, but I plan to just get rid of the Viper alarm system completely. And right down below here is your climate control. So here you turn it to high, cold, hot, where you want it. and then if it's recirculating or not. This button right here was initially for when I did the 1UZ swap, and I could just open the header up and have it point at the floor and just make the floor shake, whatever. I need to find something to use that for the K24 swap, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. So to the left-hand side right here, this is my clock. I really like how you can't really tell it's a clock until it turns on, right? So you have your time there, but I also have my time right there. It is green, just like the gauge cluster is, so everything matches, as well as right here, all of these little features are backlit green. This is my Sony XAV AX100. I'll link it as well down below. It's been solid. Apple CarPlay makes you feel like it's a little more modern, so I love it. So right below the stereo, we have this little pocket. This is just an OEM pocket. Whoa, I have knickknacks in there. And down here is a cigarette lighter. I just put a plug on it just because I don't really ever use it. It's just a little black stainless plug that I ordered on Amazon specifically for this. And down below, that's just a little compartment where I just put my garage door opener and just random little knickknacks if I don't have anywhere else to put them. But I do have this little center console here where I do end up putting my phone most of the time. And yeah, this center console was designed by me, built by my dad and my mom used to do upholstery, so she wrapped it up in this nice material. This material I got at Joann's Craft around Halloween time, so it was a cosplay one. It was a limited batch. I don't have any more of it. The creator is Yaya Han, but she no longer produces it, so I'm sad. It's a great material. Got it on the door cards too. I might switch over to something else in the future, but as of right now, it still looks solid. I have the insert right here in a black suede, so it's a very nice touch. So down here, I had to get the matching shift boot like the Nardi. This is Nardi. It has gray stitching, and this ribbon originally was really thin, black, and like stretchy. So I swapped it out for this thicker one that I got at Joann's Fabric. I put a little bit of heat shrink on the end there, heated it up, got all tight, and then I cut it off. Pause. And then at the very top, I have a Chasing J's titanium shift knob. A lot of people, interestingly enough, asking me about this rear view mirror. It's just a Broadway mirror. I got this at my local Toyota dealership. You can get them anywhere. You can get them online. I heard they're a lot cheaper online. I paid 20. I had a buddy that paid like 10 for his. But you can order these. The brand is Broadway. And what I did underneath here is a LED strip. And this LED strip runs around the back and up into my dome light. So when I turn on the dome light, it lights everything up in here. So I'll do a little before and after. Even during the daytime, you could tell it just brightens everything up in here, and at nighttime it's blinding. So now for the sound system, I have a kicker speaker here on the door. It has a spacer because these doors are really, really thin. So I noticed that when I would put this window down, it would clash with the speaker. So I had to add a spacer. I think I got the spacer at Michael's. It was just like a wooden dish, and I hollowed out the middle and I put the speaker through, and I just screwed it into the actual door card, which is like some pressed cardboard material. And then I did this little design here that kind of starts up top over the speaker, goes down around the armrest, and goes straight all the way back. And then the rest I just wrapped in diamond stitch. Super, super easy to do. So now for the carpet, this is a Auto Customs carpet, and it has the mass backing installed on it, and that's just more sound deadening underneath the carpet. I didn't want to lay Dynamat underneath on the floor, just because if I ever want to take it off in the future, it's just a pain in the butt. Yeah, so I had the mass backing installed underneath the actual carpet, so if I ever want to, it's attached to the carpet, I just take it out. And these mats are also Auto Customs carpet. They're made for this truck, so they just drop right in, and I got them the same color as I did the carpet, just black. Now this brings us to the back. I got a whole video on this. It basically extends from the floor all the way up to this line right here. It's all black suede, and it's 1 8-inch kicker sub behind each seat. So one there and one here. I did all the amp wiring behind there, ran it up underneath here, through the firewall, and nicely into the engine bay. But yeah, that's a whole separate video. I won't really show you guys too much because I can't even take this seat off. And now that brings us to the actual bracket that the seat bolts onto. So Josh came up with a great idea that was also time saving to make it a week fest. But these are L brackets right here. What you see here is just welded to the actual floor right down here, and then it's obviously an L bracket, so it comes up, and there's 3 height adjustments. So there's the first one down there, I'm actually at the second one, and then there's a third one. So the seat is adjustable. I just had it adjusted all the way down and as far back as I can possibly go. And the actual brackets themselves bolt up to status racing seats and also have adjustment. So if I didn't have the subwoofer box back here, I could max it out and go that way. But I really like it. I think it was a great idea from Josh, and I'm gonna keep it for a minute. Now the seat belts will also be linked down below, but basically I got them in this gray color to match the seat. So when it's going across the seat, everything matches. I just used the factory hardware to bolt it up behind this nice little cover here, and down here bolts right up to 93 Toyota pickup. And anywhere from 89 to 95. I'm sure it works for a lot of other chassis. And I think that wraps up the interior. I don't think I missed anything. But if you guys have any more questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll make sure to answer them. Nothing much really changed besides the seats and a couple other little bits from V1 to V2. But if this video helped in any way, make sure to comment down below if you have more questions. Subscribe if you like the content, and like the video. Thanks, guys. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye, baddies.
Yesterday my mom found out I was a junkie, but she don't care cause I'm over here getting all this money. So I don't care if she don't care, just keep them perkies coming. If you wanna know where I got it on me, run up for they drum me.